Hello. Hello. You'd be wrong, Vexility. Literally, like I was dragging the background audio down as you sent that chat. So you literally did jinx it. Nice job. Anyways, hello everyone. Today gonna be doing the same thing I was doing not yesterday, but the day before, which is cutscenes, because that's like the main thing I've got going here. Currently working on a intro cutscene, like a prologue, like the tutorial battle thing, basically. Working on that, and you may also notice, like, right below my mouse here, but like outside of the window here, that we have a new goal display. This is the current going goal for the channels. 1,000 subscribers on YouTube and 100 followers on Twitch. However, the YouTube goal thing is basically just a, hey, this is what I would need to do to hit, like, I guess it'd be YouTube partner? Is that what they call it? I don't know. Basically what lets you run ads on videos and stuff like that, and also do like super chats and memberships and stuff like that. So, that's the goal there, is to get that and hopefully get some watch time alongside that. Will mostly be present in all streams. That's awesome. I appreciate it. And then for Twitch, the 100 followers is just like, you know, I can't just say, oh yeah, affiliate underneath that, because it's like, okay, well, what do I need for affiliate? Well, I need average 3 viewers across streams. I need only 25 followers actually, and then consistent streaming. So, didn't really want to put that. So instead we have 100 followers there. Shorts live, yes. I'm also streaming to YouTube Shorts as well. There's 3 different streams going. There's the regular widescreen one. That one is the primary, and the secondary stream will be the YouTube Shorts version, and then I'm also streaming to Twitch. So basically you can watch on whichever you prefer. The Shorts live is, you know, probably not the ideal way to watch, but for people who are scrolling through YouTube Shorts, they might see it and realize, oh wow, this is actually pretty cool. I want to check out the full stream. So they can do that. I also, now that I'm looking, I probably need to add chat to the Shorts live thing. So I might actually do that real quick here. Let me see. What is it named here? Chat scene? I think that's the one. Yeah. And I'll put that down there, I guess. For YouTube Shorts viewers. They'll just get chat over my face, I guess. Or maybe I can move it up here, squish it down a little bit. Does that look okay? I can't even tell if that's legible. Genuinely can't tell if that's legible right now. But let's shrink these things down here. Just like that. Actually, you know, I'll open it on my phone. We're gonna lab this out in real time. I'm gonna check out my own stream on my phone. I wonder if I count as a viewer for myself. The Shorts live. Oh yeah, you can see that. You can read it on there, just barely, but I mean, if you're on YouTube Shorts, I don't think you're gonna want to read chat too much anyways, but that works. View botting myself goes crazy. Not view botting. Not view botting, for the record. All right. I wouldn't be able to leave it open anyways. I think YouTube's pretty good about not counting yourself as a viewer, because even if you like sit there and refresh the video, like the view count might go up, but then it will automatically correct itself after like a day or two, and you'll actually lose views, which is not ideal. So I learned that years and years ago, so I don't bother with it. Anyhow, I'm going to turn off the starting soon track, and we're going to go into your regularly scheduled stream playlist here. So anyways, today's plan is to hopefully get this cutscene working and close to finished at the very least. I'm pretty confident that it will also just work when I launch it right now, but you know, don't know. Haven't checked it yet. Don't intend on checking it until I feel like it's done. So, because I'm feeling good about just writing out the code for it. I think work better with just like the raw code than even the previous, like, I guess they call it is it called a dope sheet, I guess? I think that's what it would be, a dope sheet for the animation playhead. Because I remember having like many an issue with the game maker sequence things, where I would just forget like how I structured it, and then it's like if I wanted to change one thing, it's like just the absolute most to go through and like go through the scenes and change it. This feels much easier though. So school was boring today. Did an English vocab test though. Thanksgiving stuff's in January. You know, that's one thing that like I don't really consider as the other, because like other countries would do Thanksgiving, because in my American mind it was like, oh yeah, Thanksgiving is like related to when America was colonized. Like yeah, LOL. Like that's what they teach in the States typically, is that like, yeah, we do Thanksgiving because that was when we like America was colonized and everything. And that's like, yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, I'm thankful for my country, but also like that's the only knowledge I had of it. So it's like in my mind, like when I hear other people think of Thanksgiving, like talk about Thanksgiving, I still just think like, oh yeah, they're like, that is just like a normal holiday that people could celebrate outside of the American context for it, isn't it? So, but, I mean, it's the same with Christmas. Like, Japanese people celebrate Christmas, but, like, mine is the Christian aspect that, other countries follow along with, like, you know, of course, America and, the UK and just a few other places, view it as, like, okay, this is a celebration of the birth of Christ and everything like that. But then it's like you get to the Japanese, it's like, oh yeah, it's just a holiday that we celebrate and we like to go and get KFC. So, I mean, that's awesome. But, you know, it's just it's sometimes a strange thing when you like learn of another culture celebrating a holiday and how they do it differently. So what I'm doing here is we're gonna recreate the animation of the demon being summoned, and it's gonna also go in time with the scene here. So pretty sure, and I'm gonna fact check here with the sound effect. Yeah, exactly at 2 seconds. So this right here, I'll zoom in the code here a little bit. Just a wee bit. This next scene, I'm going to say is going to take place 2 seconds later. I'm going to go ahead and put this in so I remember. There's that. We'll go ahead and define that and then say, let's see. I need to actually see here. What frame does he need to go to? Frame 8. And then he'll do his thing here. So frame 8. And actually, you know, I can put this in to be timed to the scene, maybe. That way it's just slightly more efficient. I think. French Revolution goes hard. Okay. Shoutouts to the French. They're really good at that. Actually, this might need to be 7. Did I look at that right? Oh, wait, I looked at it wrong. He needs to go to... Yeah, wait, no, frame 8's right. Frame 8's right. So we'll just do this. He'll go along with the sound. These guys, we'll just make sure they're moving. And also, I did tweak my audio a little bit. Hopefully it sounds good, because I noticed I went back and was watching through some parts of stream from Tuesday, and I noticed my mic sounded a little bit quiet, so I increased the gain a smidge. So hopefully I sound a little bit better. Gotta go to sleep now. My mom forced me. Ah, GG's. Well, thanks for hopping in anyways, Vexility. I hope you have a good night. Let's see. So we have this scene. This is going to take place across 2 seconds. Exactly on the 2 seconds, this is where... Oh, actually, one other thing. I'm going to like store this in a variable. Say this, and I'm going to need some things here. We're going to need some extra variables to create the summoning effect. Say that, and I think that's actually all we'll need. Come down here, and when we're doing this, we're gonna say that Because this will return 0 through 1. 0 at the start of the scene, 1 at the end of the scene. So at the end of this scene, actually we'll do plus, we'll like get it up so that way it has like a period where it's at like full visibility here. And then what we'll do next is we'll go into the draw event here and we'll say this is greater than 0. We're going to draw a sprite that is a pixel. Actually, this will need to be done differently now that I'm thinking about it. Oh, wait, maybe not. There can be some hackiness here. Let's actually do this. We'll make these guys invisible. This is going to be a neat little trick. We're going to make our thralls invisible, but then what we'll do is we're going to draw them on top of everything else. So we'll draw our pixel here at the camera's X coordinate minus, like, we'll be generous and say 480 because I don't know what camera size I'm doing here yet. And actually, I don't even do that. I need to do 240. M.Y minus 135 because that'll be half of 480. I know I want it to be zoomed in. And we'll say 480 to 70 for this actual size of it. No rotation, and this is going to be white. And our alpha will be summon A. Okay? And then we'll do some checks here. If our thrall 1 exists, then we're just going to say, I'm going to shorthand this because I'm lazy. Draw sprite X sprite index T dot image index. Journoid gone vertical, not clickbait. This is true. Welcome in, Chiptroid. How's it going? How's it going? So we're going to bake these in here, actually. We don't need rotation, and we will say that, actually what we'll do is we'll do some math here. We're going to say this color is equal to, actually we'll do HSV. And then I think I'm going to double check the docs to make sure I'm doing this right. So we'll just need whatever hue, 0 saturation, and then we'll make the luminosity go down. I think that's what I want to do. Going pretty swell. I think I've just about figured out stream elements at long last. Famous last words. Funnily enough, I don't mess around with stream elements that much, funnily enough. I tend to do, like, any kind of stream things on my own, like, just handle it, like, with other programs. Like, I did have a new subscriber / new follower animation that used to play, and I did that myself using a tool called Sammy, S-A-M-M-I, and basically, like, I didn't really like it, for the record. I didn't like how it looked when it showed up, and 2, I was kind of like LOL with it, but I do like to manage things myself with it, I guess. So there's kind of like a bit of like overhead to doing all of it, I guess. For example, like I had to make a video for it. I had to make a video for the actual like animation, and then I had to have text zoom in and out of it for everything else. And that's just kind of the most. Like, I do like to manage things myself often, but for some of it, it's kind of difficult. But, you know. Anyhow, let's see here. Let me think with my mind what I want to do for this, because I think I'm looking at this clamp value, and I'm trying to figure how do I want to actually structure this a little bit, because I don't want it to go below a certain value, and I think this clamp will work, because I know this is going to be above 1. I know this will be above 1, and then we will go from there and keep it at 255 by the multiplication here. Essentially. I think this is actually going to work in reverse now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah, that's what I'm doing wrong. I'm going to do this. We'll do minus. And this should bring it down to 0, I think. So, but we will see. We will see. So now I'll take this and we'll just slap in this color and we'll say t.image alpha. Should work. And then I'll dupe this and then just say, hey, do it on 2 as well. This should work. I don't know. We will see when we get there. And I think that's all for this scene now. And then when we hit the next one, we're going to set this to 0 right out of the gate, which will be good. Because we want it to kind of like flash back in, I guess, like instantly. Dr. Pepper sip, for the record. It's Blackberry Dr. Pepper today. So when this one happens now, what I'll do next is I'm going to do the same thing here, actually. We'll have this one be synced up with the time. And get this, put it back here. We'll need the same thing. And let me think with my mind here. I'll just take this whole thing here, actually. We don't need... Actually, we do need these. We'll do frame 8 plus... I think he has 3 more frames times the playhead. We don't need this in there. And this scene will only take place over... about... 0.5. Shorts live. Yes, Shorts live. Doing 3 streams today. We have Shorts stream, regular YouTube stream, and Twitch stream. So, pretty neat, methinks. Sprite, not sprite index. This is going to be SPR Rattling idle. We'll set image speed. We'll make him like half speed, like he's groggy, because he just got summoned. And then we will also, I'm going to like just copy this because it'll be slightly easier. I'll need to put this into here. And remove that, remove that. We basically just need to make them visible again. Did I put that on their image alpha? Oh yeah, that won't help. They need to be at 1 regardless for that. Good thing I remembered that, or else I'd be like, why are they not showing up? Okay. I'm gonna double check. He's got 1, 2, 3. He actually has 4 frames. He actually has 4 frames, so we'll add 4 to that. So 8 plus 4 times wherever we're at, and that should round properly. We'll just round it anyways. Why not? And then on this scene, we will set his animation, set these guys' animations. We're all idle. And they'll linger on this scene for... I really think we'll make them linger for a second there. Then on the next scene, they will... No, wait. I'm looking at that wrong. They can linger on this scene for about 1.5 seconds. And then we'll go to the next one, which will be... What's next? So they summon the demon, and then... What did they say last? What were we on last? 4. So this is where Yui's gonna talk. And she's gonna be like, oh, they're summoning demons. Oh my goodness, they're summoning demons. So we're gonna have to do something about that. What will we do about that? So... Let me think here. I think we're going to have the text box show up, and then maybe inside the text box. You know, I don't really know. Because before, this cutscene was like time synced. So I had it like adjust the camera at the same time as they were like coughing up a lung because, oh my gosh, holy energy nearby us. We're going to freak out. So, let's see here. We are on this one. So, we'll just go ahead and create the text box. I think we will have the text box. I think we'll have it show up. We'll have the text box show up for like a tick. It's going to do its thing. And then, we will have another scene come after where they realize and then they start coughing up a lung and then the battle starts. So let me think with my mind here. I might not even, I can just shorthand this. I don't need to make variables for it. So we need this key here. Battle 5, and then this is going to be Yui speaking, and what emotion is she gonna use? This one, 10, frame 10, and that's it. So we'll create this text box, that's all we do there, and then we'll give it like, we literally just need to give it 0.1 seconds, so... And then the next one, what we'll do is we will camera set size 240, 135. We're going to zoom the camera in instantly. Camera set rotation to -24 degrees, I think is what we want. And then we'll just make another text box. And this time we will have more, so... I think we will need all of these here. Actually, no, we'll do 2 here. We'll do 2 text boxes here. And they don't have dialogue portraits, so we put -1 there. And we will create text event. Text speaker emo. There we go. That's in there. We'll also set their animations. So with thrall 1, set sprite, chapel, thrall 1, cough. Make them both cough. Thrall 2 cough, and with the demon, we will set sprite Wrathling hurt. Do hurt sprite there. Okay. So that scene's up. And then we will say 0.5 seconds. Add scene at this time. And then we'll do need a function. We're going to grab these again. Do all of this. We're going to make them look. Do I have a front facing? Yeah, we'll do this. Set image speed 0. Set image index 0. And I'm going to check in this cutscene puppet. Did I give it the ability to squish? I did not. That might be something I need to add. But for now, we'll just do without squish, because I just kind of want them to like look at the camera. So on this scene, they will look at the camera for about half a second. And then put in another scene. Might need to modify this dialogue here too, because it was intentionally kept short for use in a like timed cutscene, like with the black bars and stuff. But since it's not that anymore, I don't need that. So we'll say Thrall 1 is going to talk first. There we go, that one. And then drop this in there. Thrall 2 talk next. And set nothing for that. And then create text event, text speaker emotion. Done. And now we will need do this outside of the loop function. We're going to find a text box. It's instance find obj text box 0 if there's a text box, and if the text box's page is 1, then we will actually, I'm going to double check here. Are they should be on a set speed already. I'm going to assume they are, so I don't have to go through and add a bunch of code to these. We're going to assume that they're going to animate properly and that I know what I'm doing. But if we're on this next page, then we are going to say, hey, with Thrall 1, you are going to go back to set sprite Apple Thrall 1 front facing, and Thrall 2 is going to do the talking. On this text box, and then we will do 0.1 add scene. We're going to set them both now back to just their front facing sprites, and they're going to linger here for about 1 second, and then oh, you know what? I just thought of something. This is where Yui says her thing. In this scene, we need to reset the camera to 0. And we might actually not need to do the front-facing one here. So I'm going to change these to idle, because I'm thinking now in my mind that, like, how this is structured. If they're looking forward, they're actually not going to be looking at our protagonists. So this is what we need to do. Set that to idle, set you to talk, then set you to idle, and then set you to talk. and then idle and idle. And in this, also up here, we're going to tell the daemon with daemon image X scale is -1. Is that true for him? Wrathling idle. Yeah, so -1 there. Set image speed to, we'll do 0.5. And this will happen. We have our next scene, and he's going to, we're going to do with daemon, set sprite, or wrathling leap. And what does this look like? Yeah, he's going to do that. Oh, this needs to be a function. That's this takes. Done. We'll have this animate smoothly. So with our daemon, we are going to say that we'll do audio, play, sound. We're going to put some things in here for this. We're going to make this a slightly lower pitched jump sound. He's going to jump, so we'll say I don't know necessarily if we need to time anything here, actually. We'll just do x minus equals 4 times delta r, y minus equals, and we'll do 3, and we'll say he goes at 6 times delta r. He's got hops. And this scene, nah, 3's too little. We'll do 5 and 7 for this. And we'll need those for the lockstep stuff. I think that's included in these, but I mean, it won't hurt to keep them there if not. This scene will only be about half a second, and then we will add one final scene, I think, where we'll do this. We're going to go with our protagonist, set sprite val spr shocked. I'll need to actually look at the room here. Let's see. Do 540 and 500. X equals 540. X is X. What does that look like for Yui? Well, actually, we'll say dodge left for her, because I know what this one looks like and I like it. So this is going to be for Yui. We'll put that there. And we will have, we'll go with the daemon, and we'll say that your X is equal to 700, your Y is equal to 340. 340. And we'll go -1 function and say, like a delta here is get scene time on play position, and we will do let me double parentheses here. 700 minus 540. We'll do 520. We'll make him just land kind of in front. times the delta value here. So this will take 700. We're going to get the difference of 700 and 520. And we're going to multiply it by between 0 and 1. So it's either going to be whatever this is or nothing or something in between that. And we will do the same for the y, which will be 340 plus, and we want him to end up at, is it also 540? Yeah. 540 minus 340 times our delta. And then we're going to say with demon, x equals xx, y equals y, bx equals x, y equals y. And once this scene is over, our final scene, say this one lasts for half a second. Nah, 3/4 of a second. We'll add one final scene, and all this one will do is say, this is the end of the cutscene. This is what you would do if we were skipping the cutscene. And this should be it. Should be. I'm going to assume that this works the way I want it to. But, oh, we will need to set image speed 0, set image index -1, which will set it to the end of the animation. So that way he just kind of like vibes there. Like he'll be on the last frame of his animation. And then we will trigger a battle. That's what's going to happen. We're going to clear out music tracks, make sure the camera is rotated properly. We don't need this. Let me actually set this to single pane for now, so I can see this here. So we're going to set party member data. We're going to make sure that our main character is unlocked as well, since just out of safety's sake, this will be like later for multiplayer. Make sure Yui is now usable, because beforehand Yui is put into a state where she acts like a party member, but she isn't playable. Guardian Angel mode. Only used like specifically for these scenes ahead of time, for the record. And then we will set active player just for sake of covering bases. We'll make sure it's main character. So we clear music tracks, reset the camera, set this to proper state, and let's see. I'm going to set this transition to -1, because I'm pretty sure if I look in this function, if it is -1, then we will, yeah, we'll do the cool battle intro stuff. Where we play a little drum loop and then go into the battle. So this is what I want to start using instead of the regular character transitions, or do unique ones when necessary. So like, you know, bosses might keep this one, but like, we'll see. I'm not limited by what I can do and what I can't do now that this is broken free from what Game Maker wants me to use, essentially. So, but I think this is what we'll do. So clear music, reset camera size, or not size, but rotation. Make sure our two characters are unlocked. Set our active player, just in case, because we don't want to come out playing as Yui for some reason. We're going to set our battle room to this one, which looks like this. Kind of, sort of. We're going to fight against this enemy. And we are going to say, hey, this is the tutorial battle. It's not fleeable. It's not a boss. It does have this tutorial type. Our next room is actually going to have to change, because this is now going to be the room that we're currently in. We're going to play the standard battle music. We will need to actually update the story flags. So this is something I'll have to change when I know exactly what I want to use for it. We don't want to use a transition. And this is the room we're going to go to. This global variable up here is like just a safety thing, for the record. And then this, we will destroy the cutscene, and we should move into it. So, the next thing I'm going to do is we're going to attempt to test this here. We're going to say we are going to go to Mountain 4, which is the room prior. And our story progression is going to be story sequence dot UE tutorial completed. And this should put us where we need to go. Keyword being should. Now, let's go ahead and actually launch the game and see how things go. Slowly but surely. I haven't actually compiled the game yet today, so it's just, it's chilling. It's got to compile all the audio. It's got to put all the textures in, things like that. So we're going to be chilling just for a moment. Wait for it to load. And let's go straight into it. Oh, wonderful, because the game is crashing. Awesome, because I deleted rooms that we don't need anymore. So let me actually go to this. Go to this door, and you're going to go to... You're just going to always go here, I guess. No need for the bonus stuff anymore. Let's try that again. Slowly but surely, part 2. And here we go. Now it should work. Okay. And fingers crossed. No, we're crashing because I missed a comma somewhere. Awesome. One is that 141. Yep, there it is. Let's just go through and check. There, comma there. There, comma there. Good, good. Don't need one there, or there. Or there. Or there. Good, good, good. Okay. Such is life as a game developer. But now it should work. We could at least get into the cutscene to see if it runs properly. Hopefully. I wouldn't swear it, though. Okay, send us in. And... oh, he's invisible. Awesome. Wonderful. And he's not moving. And I did not define a script properly. Okay, awesome. Cool, even. So, where is this at? 126. Oh, I wrote it as SRC and not SCR. Awesome, me. Good job. Way to go. Way to go. All right. That's in there. Do that. This probably actually just needs to happen when we set this, but if you ever go into a cutscene, I'm noticing this is a bug now. If you ever go into a cutscene while you're invulnerable, you're going to keep that transparency from before you entered the cutscene. So, and we don't want that. And we also need to set image speed, I guess, to 1, because we weren't... Actually, were we even playing music there? I don't think we were. Were we? Let's do this test normally. Let's go to... UE partner. We might trigger another cutscene with this one, but oh well if we do. All right. Okay, there we definitely have music playing, which is actually necessary. If there's no audio, there's a non-zero chance that animations do not work. Which there should always be like a default audio track, but let's see now. Yeah, now he's walking. Okay. Portrait not defined, even though I thought I did that, but okay, sure. We'll say portrait is nothing. And we'll do the same for this. My portrait is nothing. Yes, I know it doesn't exist in variable definitions. All right. I'm very well aware of that. I'm intentionally doing this. Yo, what's up, Science Yoshi? Won't stay long, but have popped in. Hey, any appearance on stream is a good appearance on stream. Welcome in. How's it going? We might, keyword being might, have the cutscene ready to roll that we were working on Tuesday. We'll find out shortly when I can make it not explode when I launch it. Now, here we go. Expanding audio, take me to the room. There we go. Yeah, I'm not supposed to have the scarf yet, but because I'm debugging, I do. Okay. Again, didn't define everything. I need to give him a voice. Might as well give him a font too. Whatever. My voice. We'll do that for you. And we'll do this for you. And we'll say my font is equal to... Oh, what's it called? Dialogue shadow text, I think is what I called it. In fact, check this. Show me dialogue shadow text. Yes. Font is this. Font is this. I don't think I need anything else for one of these guys. But we'll find out. Let's launch the game again. That's really funny. I just checked my phone and I have an email, a YouTube creator email. Go live vertically and horizontally at once. All of your viewers in a single shared chat. Have your stream both ways. Like all this stuff, like I'm not already doing that, but through my own methods, because you only let me just pivot the camera. You don't let me crop it the way I want to, because let me be so clear, YouTube. Only being able to just move the camera to make a vertical stream out of whatever I'm streaming is not going to work for me. I want to be able to have like the full window for people to see. So unless I like just duplicate the viewport and put it on screen somewhere, I'm not going to use the baked in one, and I will unfortunately have to divide my chat across 3 different streams. Okay. No crashies? We got crashies. My name! He doesn't have a name! That's what I was forgetting. I knew I was forgetting something. I mean, we don't know who these guys are, so they're... Huh? Anyone we don't know who they are will just be, huh? Surely it works this time. And I'm not wasting 15 minutes just like recompiling over and over. That. Surely it works this time. Famous last words. This is true. Wait, why don't I just debug myself everywhere I need to go? That's a lot faster. Wait! Look up ahead! Okay. Nice camera! Okay. Well. Hold on. I know it's going to continue animating, but I think we need to do a camera set target to self here. And it does work. It doesn't crash. That was me closing the game that time. So that's what I want. Set our X, set our Y. Okay, okay, okay. Oh, wait. There is one thing that I'm forgetting here. When we go into this, we need to clear music tracks and play new song BGM wind. That's what we need. We're going to make it all windy and spooky, and the guys are going to show up. The propane depreciation. The purple desecration. The pillow delegation. Those guys that we don't really like and that don't really like us. There we go. And we're in, and we're walking, and Yui's like, yo, wait. Hey, why are you there? You're not supposed to be just chilling there yet. Is there... There's 2 of them? There are 2 of them. Why are there 2 of them? Okay. Okay. Game crashes. Kind of works, but it crashes. Why are there 2 of them? Oh, wait. Duh. I had this asset in the room still. For lining it up. Whoops. I do want to move him over, like, just a few pixels to the left. So the camera's in just a slightly better position. And then we're going to check some animation speeds, because why is this 2 frames a second? This needs to be like this. Ooh, you know, let me do a thing here. We're going to define some functions. Wait, not Val, SPR, we need Sprite, Chapel, Brawl, 2, Summon, Set Sprite, SPR, Chapel, Brawl, 2, Manic, Image Speed, 1. And we'll do the same thing up here, except we need this to be Thrall 1. So when they complete this animation, they're going to go into this one where they freak. So, and this should ideally just work. And I'll do another thing here. Where is this? We'll make this go just a little bit faster too, so he lingers on that last frame for a bit longer. Kind of like it tweens in. And let's look here. What do I want? The image speed to 1. And then in this one, I know what I forgot. I forgot to set camera set target to be MC, camera set position, MC's X and MC's Y. And we'll also do camera set size 240, 135. Now, do we have anything in here? I'm gonna check. Camera. Anything that sets the camera size? I think this will only need to happen if we have a unique transition. So I'm gonna put this in there. That should be fine to do, because it's going to reset the camera size. We only need to do that if we have one of these sequence transitions, which, I mean, those are probably going to get axed anyways, because LOL sequences, and if they lag, then the battle intro takes longer. If you're just like, say you're running at a higher frame rate, and then for some reason the game is lagging a little bit, like say 240, it should really only slow those down if you are below 60 FPS. But if your target frame rate is 240, it's going to slow down if you go below that, even though it won't be, it's not necessary. So, these will probably end up getting axed anyways and replaced with some kind of like manual solution. But, for the time being, we'll just put that code there. And now I think we're ready to roll. But I'm going to remove this flower because I don't like it being there in the scene. Now, let's try it out. And here we go. Give myself abilities. Now, I don't expect the fight to work properly. I wholly intend on it either crashing or being a bunch of, hey, the developer didn't program this dialogue correct. Report this as a bug. So, we'll see. Wait. Look up ahead. Hee-hee-hee-haw. Don't have enough energy to summon any more big guys. We were instructed to use all energy, so let's bring in a few underlings. Okay. Yui's reacting to this amazingly, isn't she? Oh, why is he disappearing, bro? What is this? He can't disappear yet. Maybe it's because we're destroying the cutscene. Is that a check? Yeah, it is a check, isn't it? Poof! The evil was vanquished. This is true. So we won't destroy the cutscene, but we'll just have to add in a special case for this one, I guess. What is this called? What scene is this called? Demon first. Demon first. And we'll say on room end, we will destroy ourselves. Destroy. There we go. Nice. Now, let's see. You know, I bet I can't define this in here, now that I'm thinking about it. I bet that gets overwritten. Or, you know, I'll do something even better. Let's go in here, and we will do this. We're going to do some fancy code work. We are only going to make this if it's not already defined. Ha ha ha. We can reset these things. Self of image speed, image index, all of this. This is going to be a neat little thing you can do. You can do this with a lot of Game Maker things. I love setting this up. I found this out from a fellow Game Maker creator, Gen 2 Games. If you're basically accessing the struct of the self, which is sounds profound, but you're just accessing the objects like variables, looking for these variables, and if they don't exist, this nullish operator here, it's like, hey, is this null? Does this not exist? Then we set it to these things. If not, we use whatever we have already because it exists. So you can just define things and they just work. Before I go, I'll leave one more profane denomination joke. The probable dandelions. Awesome. Well, thank you for hopping in, Science Yoshi. I hope you enjoyed what you got to see, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Yeah, I probably should have done this kind of thing from the get-go, but I didn't because, like, I thought, oh, I don't need to, but you know what? I need to. So there we have that. That's cool. This function now will work if you define things like this inside of the creation code, I guess. What do they call this? The variable struct. If you define things early, like this will now work, which is cool. I love fancy code. Okay. Now, we can also add a end animation to our demon here too. And say, if sprite index is equal to, we'll do a summon. Actually, this one's already handled. I don't think we need to do that, but we'll do is leap. Then we will just set image index to -1 and set image speed to 0. So we'll freeze his animation at the end of the jump. And then I need to find where he gets set to that jump sprite. There's leap. He shouldn't be animating here at all, but he is. Oh, because this doesn't need to be there. Or it needs to actually, we need to set sprite to Wrestling idle. We can just do this up here, actually. We don't even need to do it here. There we go. Go ahead and set him up there, and... Wait, I put that in the wrong spot. Ha ha ha. Good thing I caught that, or else I would have been scratching my head. Like, why is he not doing things? We'll order these just for safety's sake, even though it shouldn't matter. There we go. And which scene is it here that Yui doesn't have the dialogue for properly? 5. Because I didn't put it in an array. There we go. Now she'll be properly shocked. And this, we also need to audio, play, sound, SND, thwack, 0 false. And thwack is a great sound. We're gonna pause the music for a moment. We're bringing up the audio. Check this one out. What a wonderful sound. Yeah. So we'll have thwack going on that scene, like when the camera rotates, because I think it's silly. Now then, I think, short of the game crashing when we go into the battle, we're good here. So I'm just gonna check OBJ Battle Manager here. Alarm 0. So this is where it actually crashed. On 36. Throw enemy. So I'm seeing why it's crashing, because this is used for the effect. So let's say, I guess we can just do this. If instance exists, intro enemy. If we have one, we'll just go into a battle with it. Only if we have an enemy. But I could also, I could also just make the enemy that... We're not listening to Cauldron Keep. Get this out of here. Could also just make the object inside the cutscene the enemy that we're looking at. That's another option. So I think that would work. Let me check something here. Let's look in our player object and see if there's a case for encountering an enemy that will involve does a cutscene exist type things. No, there's not. So let's say I could technically do that. It might take a little bit of finagling. No, it might work. It might work. let's do some things here. Let's make a thing here. We'll say, we're gonna need a new function here. There's a lot of stuff going on in the enemies. We'll say enemy cutscene. We'll keep that. Define as needed. Otherwise, just do nothing. LOL. And what we'll do is we'll go into this. And I'm dev-splaining it now. We're gonna make this we're just gonna make it the object. And we're going to tell it to go to the state of its enemy cutscene state. So it shouldn't do anything, and we can still have full control over it. And then we will say in here, can hurt is false. We can't hurt our party members, and we can't be hurt either. Can be hurt is false. And let me think with my mind here. Let me check in that player code again. How do we determine, like, where do we check our level stuff for this? No. Let's just search for this whole function, actually. Let's see where it's used. Right here. So we'll need to set our character's invulnerability to make sure that's false. And let me just zoom this in here. That's special text. This is overworld stuff. We'll need to make it can be fought. That's true. Can be fought. It's true. I think that's what I want to do. Maybe this isn't what I want. Let's double check. Oh, yeah. Level. That's the thing. Wait a minute. No, that's not right. We'll add a new variable. And just do this. If we have a force encounter thing going on, then we'll force an encounter. Otherwise, we'll check if there's already a battle, or, you know, for overworld damage that we are stronger than the enemy level-wise. And then if not, if we're not invulnerable, we'll just encounter the enemy. So I just want to avoid this level check regardless, so we're just going to make that a thing that happens. Put this here. Force encounter equals false, and we'll leave a note. Only update this after creation. And we'll say force encounter is true. So if I'm doing this correctly, if I've got this like correctly programmed, what's going to happen is now we're using the actual battle object for the Wrathling. When he actually touches our main character, it's going to trigger the battle normally. So this, I'll actually just say this is this. So I'm pretty sure. Actually, wait. How does our encounter enemy do things? If there's not a battle manager, then we're going to go through and we are going to what? Do create battle and then say intro enemy is this. So what we can do is go back into this, undo that. I think I'm going to double check here. Wrong one. Enemy.enemies, intro enemy. Yeah. Okay. So we'll just take this back into here and say this is that, and intro enemy is demon. So that way we have him in screen space and can do things properly. This should work, but I'm not positive, and I want things to look cool and actually utilize everything. I'm doing all this reworking to make things flow between smoothly and look cool and feel like a real video game. So by gosh, I'm gonna make it look like a real video game if I can. Now let's zip into it, see how it do. This might just break. It might not, though. And that's what I'm hoping, is that it actually is cool and works. So far, so good. Okay. He shows up. All right. Okay. Now this is fine. The game did crash, but it crashed for a different reason. It crashed because it's not finding the right camera. All right. And this is something that is totally on me. So this is a battle related bug. Which is this? Room start, I think. 59. Yep. Let's see. We'll say battle cam is instance find obj player cam 0. That should be okay, methinks. I mean, it gets defined in here, but we'll double check on it. It should always exist. I'm pretty sure the player cam is set to be persistent. I'm gonna say, let's search for instance destroy player cam. Does this exist anywhere? It does. Let's ignore comments. Yeah, don't do that. Cutscene states. I'm not sure what this is for. We'll get there when we get there. Let's run it one more time and see how it do. The fact that the enemy is working properly now, whether it's using, I don't think it's actually using the built-in encounter right now. I think it's still using the other one here, but that's fine. That's fine as long as it uses the enemy. But that might be something I change because it'll bite me down the road. Okay. Oh, okay, I guess we're playing as Yui now. Into the scene. Wait, look up ahead. Hee hee hee. And we're gonna summon a demon. He's gonna show up. Yo, what up? And it's like, oh, they're summoning demons. Yak, Black, do you feel that? Mayhaps. Too late for divine intervention. Get him. Boing. All right. Progress. Progress. So that floor is not supposed to be that high. And where are our guys at? Can I like have that's item bag, and that's awesome. Okay. Okay. So I don't know why that's happening. That could be a camera size thing. I'm going to trigger a battle normally or with debug stuff to see if that happens again. We'll just go to Hub World for now. Provided that I have this set up properly. Don't crash, please. Okay. Okay, bye. Whoa. That's not right. Okay. Okay. I see. I see. It's a coordinates issue. That's fine. I might have to restore some code that I changed the other day. That I thought, oh yeah, I'm gonna reuse this, but I didn't. So, I think this is in adjust player formations. Probably. So I did change this code up. Let me just pull it from previous version real quick and see if that fixes it, because I might have just broken something and totally forgot about it. Let's just go back a little bit. Battle. Come on, GitHub, work with me, please. Okay, history. Let's just look this one. Battle management. Show me. Actually, show me the whole thing, first of all. I need adjust options. Huh. I mean, that's essentially what it looks like. Did I change the layer X and stuff too? That for some reason? I don't think I did. It's one of those things. Yes. Let's see here. Go in here. What are you yelling at me for? Oh, because you don't need all this information anymore. Show me. Yeah, that's all the same. Okay. See if that fixes it. I love bug fixing just to make sure something works properly. I mean, that's what I get for making changes and then not testing them, I suppose, but... Go into the hub room. Give me some levels. Give me some glutlets. Give me some battle. No, they still just jump into the void. Awesome. Cool, even. Okay, cool. So this is something I'm gonna have to, like, dig into and figure out later, but... Well... Well... Did get that cutscene mostly finished today, so I'm good with that, but... Let's see, what time is it? It's 4:17. I got a little bit more. I got a little bit more stream in me, I suppose. Let's see here. Can try and fix some things, perhaps. Is that supposed to be plus equals on that? I wonder. Maybe that's what it is. Ah. There it is. There it is. That was the issue. But actually, let's undo this stuff and see. I just managed to bork it. Because it already gets... Oh, I remember what I was going to do. I remember what I was doing that triggered this in the first place. I was going to make this... Okay. I was going to make it, just be, like, coordinate agnostic, and I never finished it. It wasn't going to care, like, what, like, coordinates you gave. You could, like, format the players any way, shape, or form you wanted. Like, anywhere. Just as reusable code. That's what it was, and because it takes in the default X and Y, it, like, was adding it onto there, so it was effectively doubling it. That's what it was. Okay, I'm not as stupid as I thought. Now, let's actually... We're gonna have to do some different things here, so I'm going to close some stuff out here that we don't need at the moment. And we are going to do some tutorial things. Where's our battle tutorial? Do I even have those keys in here yet? I might not. Let's just close all this stuff out. Get a clean slate here. We'll need the language file, and we will need... what will we need? Battle management? Methinks. No, it's not battle management. It is this function. Okay. So we are going to now be making the tutorial because this stuff has not been moved to the translation file yet. So we'll slap this in here. This is going to be right here. We're going to say tutorial first battle 1 is equal to this. And now this becomes this. Whoops. Oh, what am I doing? And then UE will say this. We'll say it is now this. And it's number 2. And we'll say tut first battle. And then we'll need a 3, 1. Oh, sneeze. A 3, 1 that says, teach me. Put first battle 3, 1. And we'll actually change this one. Instead of it being like, nope, I understand already, we'll say, nah, I think I'm good. Very minor change. And then UE is not going to argue you on that at all. So, but provided you answer yes, she's going to be like, hey, yo, check this out. If you look up, there's a row of icons. This is the attack order going left to right. Any icon that is doubled in size is the current attacker. Okay. This and that. Numbers at the top. Yada yada. This is actually so convoluted to work with. Oh, hello, Comic Cat. Thank you. Thank you. With the font so big, this is like slightly difficult to work with, but I do want the stream to actually be watchable when I'm writing code, so there's just a lot of shift scrolling. I'm just like, oh. Go to 8. And then you become this. You become this. And this. This. We'll do this. We'll do this. This. Give me a 9. Get rid of that comma. And then give me a 10. This here. And then go there. Give me a 10. This is now localized. Cool. Awesome. Or can be localized. Let's say that. We'll handle possessed enemy later. Specials is good. I think these are fine too, but let's see here. Where does this happen at? Here we go. These need to just be keys instead of automatically done because that is now handled inside the text box instead of outside. Maybe to my detriment, but oh well. We'll do these later when we need those attack styles. And okay, now let's actually try the battle now that it shouldn't explode. Keyword being shouldn't. Slowly but surely. Here we go. I'm not going to level up or update story progression. We're going to go straight into the new cutscene and see how that does. Or maybe not straight into it, but pretty close to it. Okay. Oh, wait, look up ahead. Hee 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 ha. We don't have enough energy. Let's bring in another dude. And then he shows up and he does the thing. And they're summoning demons, and they're coughing, and they're holy energy, and they sick him. He does his thing. We get into a battle, and this is not correct, but the text box is correct. Oh, yep, 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 yep. Okay. So, why is the battle floor like this, actually? Now, my underling, let's show off our devilish attack styles. I'm gonna check this real quick and see, did I, like, screw something up in this room? Okay, hold on. Okay, we're not getting a background offset applied. Okay, well, we should be doing that, but why are we not? It must be a byproduct of entering the room in the way that we did, entering via battle. I'm noticing that my VTuber just like perfectly covers up MC's health. That's awesome. Oh, and he's backwards. Which is fine, because I'm not worried about doing enemy bug fixes just yet. And I know this will probably like freak out and crash or just repeat the cutscene over and over. Yeah. Okay, that's not correct. Where does this happen at? Prep cube line 1423. Okay, sure. Whatever, game. You know better than I do. All right. Yeah. They aren't arrays, you're correct. Early, you know more about the code than I do. Good thing there's a grass strip in the middle of the sky for battles to take place on. This is very, very true. Why is that happening? Because that shouldn't happen. Let's see what happens here in this when we don't have a transition, because that's what it is. Pause the track. Okay. That doesn't tell me much. Huh. Okay, if I could type properly. Battle manager. Alarm 0. Alarm 6. You know what? You know what? I bet... there is something in here that moves the floor, because I know that the floor is supposed to kind of like zip in. What are we doing here? Intro type. Player open? Try battle start. No. Huh. Here it is. Here it is. This is always going to 0. It's always going to adjust it to 0. So I need to actually store the layer offset. So let's see. Let me think here with my mind. Where are we pulling this info from? Room start. We're going to do this. Yes, 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 yes. Do we not even define these? Oh no, we do. By default, we should have an offset of 0. And then we will say, in the step event, is it the step event? It is. Let me cook. Let me cook. This is a funny way of doing it, but I mean, it'll work. So just drop that in here. Just like that. If it's the 0 position, then sure, do this. And we'll also do a minor optimization. Have a good day, bro. Seeing you in my live stream. Hope you don't give me a strike or something. Nah, bro, you're good. You're good. Just hanging out. So we'll optimize this ever so slightly by doing a repeat here. So instead of having to check the array length each time, we'll just do the array length. We can do the same for this. Say I0. Currently working on fixing a couple of bugs that have arisen with a cutscene that I'm working on. A few things that just need to be fixed up to work properly for the cutscene to finish, essentially. Let's see here. I think all of these are good now. With me. Let's relaunch the game, see if it works properly this time. And we're not battling on a strip of grass in the sky, but actually the battle floor. Okay, take me to the room, and I'm gonna have to debug there because I don't have a quick way of going there. Imagine that. I don't want to, like, jump ahead and then no music. 555 subscribers? Heck yeah. Triples. The goal is 1,000. The goal is 1,000 so I can hit that monetization mark. I got some big plans for the channel coming up. I'm working on many scripts for videos. And the goal will be to have 90 videos, 90 short videos ready to go, like each day for 3 months straight, essentially. So 1 short every day. I'm about halfway through the planning phase of that. Oh, LOL, we crashed. I did something wrong. What did I do? What did I do wrong? 219. What? Okay. Show me 219. Can't give the other 455 subs, but best of luck. Hey, I appreciate it, bro. The demon that makes you crash. This is true. So this is a width. This is a width, but I guess, oh, you know, I guess because I'm doing like that as the variable name up here. Let's, oh, wait, it's underscore YY. Aha, no, I was doing it wrong. Bold of me to assume that the compiler doesn't know what it's doing. Yeah, it's always me. It's always me. Except for that one time, you know, except for that one time when I was working on Demo 4, multiplayer, and Game Maker's just like, oh yeah, you're using UDP networking, but suddenly we read the data buffer wrong. No, that was y'all. That was y'all doing that. Not me. Not me, because that was bug fixed in the very next patch, and it screwed me over for an entire week because I was trying to do, like, I was one of the only people trying to make multiplayer in Game Maker over UDP networking at that time. Apparently, because that gave me such a freaking runaround. Like, oh yeah, what am I doing wrong? This is something new for me, so I don't know what's screwed up. I'm still learning. I can't figure out why it's trying to read into the future, but no, it's just freaking Game Maker. And the freaking UDP networking was busted, and it wasn't clearing out information properly. But now it's fixed, but now it's too late. I've already made Demo 4, and it uses TCP networking, which isn't good. It's slow. But it's reliable, but it's slow. Anyways, rant aside, we're gonna go back into testing. Back into the cutscene, pretty much. Hopefully anyone new joining in didn't have to, like, immediately join into that, like, rant about how, how Game Maker has made life difficult for me a few times. Oh, hello. Nice little debug issue. Wait, look up ahead. Hee. We've seen this a billion times, but they're summoning demons in the mountains, and he shows up, and then he gets sicked at us because we're not evil, hateful, profane denomination members. He does the jump. We do that. We're in the battle. Yui snaps into place weirdly, but we didn't crash, and that's the important part. That means I'm doing something right. And we're inside a turn-based battle. But nah, I think I'm good. I don't need to be taught how to do it. And I think we're getting good here. All right. Why was bro so excited to enter the door? Also, yo, what's up? Edify, how do you say that? Magellan? Interesting username. I probably butchered that. I apologize, but welcome in. Welcome in. So this shouldn't crash anymore. Defend attack, you know, he doesn't have his voice properly, which is fine. That's something I can change later. His animations don't work right. That's also fine. I can fix that later. LOL. Magellan. I gotcha. Cool. Sorry for butchering that. We'll just get through this real quick. I know, I kind of just want to see what happens when the battle ends, because I know it's just going to send me back to the previous room. It's probably going to re-trigger the cutscene again, but that's fine if it does. So, we'll just see. Playoff from Magellan from Tolkien. Okay, I gotcha. Oh, and he's not animating again. All right, awesome. Freestyle. Is this one going to explode? It's not. His animations aren't proper, but that's fine. That's something I'm just going to take a day. That's going to be a whole stream going through and fixing like animation issues with the new system. Literally. Hey, seems like the developer didn't program this text to display correctly. Please report this as a bug. Well, yeah, you see, he's me. So I know it's not displaying correctly because I was the one who programmed it. Yeah, it's just going to re-trigger the cutscene. Okay, so that's good. That's a non-issue that it does that. That's actually intended because I just need to make sure that we are sending from that cutscene to the right story progression after the fact. So, with that being said, what is the next option? What is the next option here? I do know that I want to probably, you know, I think where I was setting these variables, like, I'll set this to false. I don't think we want to use him to do the encounter. We're going to let the cutscene do that. So I know I said that earlier. I think it's not doing correctly. Probably should report it. Yeah. Let me go open a ticket on my own on my own GitHub real quick. Infinite tutorial glitch. This is true. There is, now that I'm thinking about it, there is one cutscene. I'm going to have to remember what it's actually called. What is the name of it? Prologue. What is it called? Not that one. Prologue Cliff. Yes, this one. This cutscene, when it ends, actually needs to... We need to go to that room, but we need to set our story progression to story sequence dot UE tutorial. Yes, this one. So what we're gonna do, just for sake of like making sure that everything works correctly, I'm going to run it from the start, like very beginning of the game. We're not going to debug through it. We're going to go from the opening to the demon cutscene to the UE cutscene to the next demon cutscene and make sure that everything works as it should. Just like fresh save file, make sure everything's cool and good. So I'm actually going to pause the music. We're going to go game audio now. So hopefully this sounds good. Let's see. I'm going to monitor the audio real quick before I continue. Because I'm going to have to crank it up just a bit. Does that sound good? Does that sound good to everyone? Is that like a decent volume for everything? Because I do know that I have the settings tweaked a little bit. So, okay. All right. We'll run it from the beginning. We're selecting a file that definitely exists there. We'll go in with the default name, and it's Sunday at 8 p.m. Ignore the hyper-realistic trees. I was trying something out. I don't like it. It's going to get removed and replaced with something better. Thanks again for sticking around to help tidy the place up. Actually, let me put on the voice.
Thanks again for sticking around to help tidy the place up. I really appreciate it. My old age gives me quite a bit of difficulty getting everything back in order nowadays.
It's no problem. If you ever need any help with anything, don't hesitate to ask. I'd be more than happy to lend a hand.
That's great to hear, Sonny. You'd better get going now. You got a bit of a distance to walk before you make it home, don't you?
Yeah, I guess you're right. I'll get going then. See you around. Okay, bye. All right. And now we're walking home. We are, you know, average church-going guy. Stay around to help tidy things up. He probably does some things in the church. But we're going to go home. We're going to go through the tutorial too. Did you know that you can press X to jump? You can. Did you know when falling near a ledge, you can grab onto it? From there, you can jump with X or drop downwards with arrow down. Wow. Did you know you can also hold arrow down and then move to start crawling under small gaps? Wow. Hold Z while moving to run. Some gaps may require a running start to cross. Well, I've been doing that the whole time because why would I ever be slow? Check out the speed optimization from wall jumping. You can wall jump too. Move into the wall while falling to begin a wall slide, then press X to jump off. You got it. But I'm gonna carry my speed because I'm awesome. But yeah, it's getting late, it's dark. And what's that sound? Must have been the wind. Huh. Must have been my imagination. True, it could have been that. It could have been that. Little did he know, it was actually the creature. And then, the mysterious device from the sky. The mysterious object. A surprise tool that will help us later. But yeah, we get knocked off a cliff. That's not good. Does the cutscene work properly? Let's find out. Ugh. Are you well? You had quite the fall. Would you care to explain what happened? Well, I was walking home as usual, then there was this weird thing that tried to attack me. I started running away, then boom. Something fell from the sky and knocked me off the cliff. Wait, who are you? What are you doing in a place like this anyways? Oh, my apologies. Please allow me to introduce myself. I am Yui, your guardian angel. We guardian angels are sent to tend to the living in very dire situations. That being said, it does not appear that you'll be able to make it out of this cave on your own. I will lend you my aid. Once you are safe, I will depart from you. So, how exactly are we going to get out of here? Excellent question. You can make use of my angelic abilities. Move onwards, and we shall work together to traverse this cave system. You tried adding sounds to character steps. I always enjoy the brain scratcher sounds. There actually are, like, these little, like, tic-tacs that show up. There are sound effects that go along to that, and they will change depending on the terrain. So in here, it's kind of like a rocky step sound, and on grass, there's, like, a grassy one. There's one for metal as well. Part of me wants to add unique ones per character, too. Depending on, like, the shoes that they have to an extent, but that's a lot of recording sound effects, since the majority of my sound effects, I record myself. So, you know, with Yui wearing sandals and me not owning a pair of sandals, I would have to do some things there. So, but yeah, there's a lot of, like, little brain scratcher sounds that do show up. In one cutscene later on in the game, I actually had to record a sound of my door hitting my wall to make the sound effect for a door hitting a wall. Oh, no, wait, why are we, wait a minute. What, hold up. The story progression is borked. Wait a second. We skipped ahead. We skipped the demon cutscene. Okay, that's good to know. Yes. For those who have played the demo of Angels and Demons already, specifically that sound effect was used in the first Glutslinger encounter in Chapter 1. When he, like, throws you out of the train station and then, like, slams the door open. I actually, you know, since we've got to the point that I was trying to get to and found out that the cutscene didn't trigger properly because our story progression's too high, I'll actually play that sound effect. It's like door hit wall. Yeah, so I'm gonna crank up the desktop audio real quick, so this might be a little bit loud, but this sound right here. That is actually, like, my door hitting the wall that I recorded just for one specific cutscene. So, yeah, like, I try and do that a lot. Some of the ambient sounds are the same way. Those will be showing up later on, I guess. I'm gonna add, like, little ambient tracks to certain areas. Like, when you're in the Slorp Laboratory, I have some engine sounds that I've recorded, like, or tech whirring sounds, I guess, that I'll be using for that. Or, let's see, I've recorded birds outside that will be used eventually, probably. The Journoid door cameo. This is true. And then, like, a ton of the character voices are just, like, my own voice. Main character, my voice. Hector, my voice. Big Top. Any of the old guys. Emery, they're all my voice. The exception is some of the female characters. Their vocal quips are taken from royalty-free sound effects and clipped down, like, very, very small. So, but yeah, I try and record the majority of them myself, if I can. Checking my other screen here. I got stuff up on like 3 different screens. We're finally 3 monitors, gang. Which was my Christmas present. How cool is that? My solo dev? I am. I'm doing all of this myself. I guess I could probably give an overview of what Angels and Demons is. Angels and Demons is a platformer RPG rhythm game. So what that means is there's a lot. There's a lot that goes on in this that I am doing all by myself because I am stubborn and don't want to ask people for help, for one. And 2 is I want to be able to say that I did it all myself. So, essentially, the overworld locomotion is platformer based. Think like, you know, standard like Super Mario or even Pizza Tower because of the movement stuff. Pizza Tower, Sonic type stuff like that. When you encounter an enemy, chances are you're going to go into a turn-based battle. Really depends on what level you are, if you'll just kind of like knock them out or if you're using an ability. But you can encounter enemies in turn-based battles, and they function similarly to the Paper Mario games or Mario and Luigi ones specifically, Mario and Luigi RPGs. And there's a lot of rhythmic elements. Through that little run-through, you may have noticed some of the floor pieces were moving in sync with the music, or in the battle with the tutorial enemy, the attacks are actually music synced. That, among a few other things, like a fully featured vertical scroll rhythm game, are included, and it's a lot to manage. And it doesn't matter because that's the game I want to make, and I knew that getting into it. So, a game, but everyone sounds the same, but the angel. I mean, you know, I will gas myself up a little bit and say I have a pretty decent vocal range. Like, you probably wouldn't be able to tell if I didn't make the comment that I voice all the characters. Honestly. So, like, I'm gonna toot my own horn, gas myself up, whatever the kids say nowadays, and say that I do a pretty good job at that. However, that doesn't mean like every single character is gonna be voiced by me. There's gonna be a few extra ones. So, but let's see. Let me get a time check here. It's 4:53. So I'm almost out of time for stream today. Almost, but I got a little bit more. So let's see. We're going to go to our room initialization thing, and I need to see what does this trigger on. UE tutorial complete. So we actually need, what are we setting to at the end of that? I think we need to go on this one, so just tutorial finished. All right, and that should trigger it properly. So let's do one more run through. We'll do one more run through to make sure that we can get to the end of that cutscene and battle and everything with no issues. And if that's true, then, well, I'm framing this like it's an either or situation. It really just dictates what I will have to do once stream is over, like later tonight or sometime tomorrow. And and I'm going to go back to game audio here. We'll crank it up. But if it works, then I'm checking that cutscene off the list, and for stream tomorrow, provided I make it to stream, because still trying to get the schedule worked out, stream tomorrow will be the post-battle cutscene, which should be relatively easy among some other things. We'll probably do the post-battle cutscene, and we will do we'll do post-battle cutscene, and we might actually do some cutscenes once you make it to the church for the first time after the opening there. So, I never understood enum state machines. Is it like a function, or does it just hold variable names? Okay, actually, you know, I will take a moment to explain this, because I like explaining video game functions. So let me look here. Let me hide the game window for a second here. Studio mode, show me viewport, show me sources, and VM preview. Okay, so enums. All right, let's take a look at this with story sequence. All right, all an enum is these are wait, you're right, Comic Cat. Let me get the file select theme playing. I'm closing the game. We're getting it going. Hold on, I'll put it on loop. You're so correct. Where is it at? SM64. All right, we're dev-splaining. All right, so an enum state machine. Essentially, all an enum is, it says, hey, this story sequence dot intro is equal to 0, or intro night is equal to 1, 2, 3, and so on. Okay, so when we set a variable, let's say, I'll actually go into the player, because this might be a better explanation here. We'll go to the player's enum here. All right, and I'll full screen it. So we have this player enum, and he's got a lot of states here, with enter being state 0, world entry being state 1, and level entry 2, moving 3, so on and so forth. When we say our state is equal to player.enter, this is the same as saying our state is equal to 0, okay? And then player.world entry would be state equals 1, okay? When the game gets compiled or interpreted by the processor, however, these just get converted to these numbers, all right? And you can tell it to be different numbers. Like if I wanted to say, let's say an unused state, unused. So player.unused could be -1. This will work too. This is now -1, and then this is 0, and so on and so forth, right? So, and I'll go into the step event. This is what it's going to check every frame. Now, we'll go down here to this big switch case statement. So we're looking at our state. It's player.enter, state is equal to 0, case 0. These are the same thing right here, essentially. Case 0 is the exact same as player enter, because that enum will compile down to 0. And then this one down here would be the same as case is 1. Or, you know, we could say like, hey, if state is equal to player.enter, right? This is the same as saying state is equal to 0. Or, you know, unequal to player.enter. Things like that. Essentially, an enum is just a human-readable way to make things slightly more efficient, because, like, if we were to use a state that's a string, right? So, if we want it to be human-readable all the way around, right? We could use a string and then say, hey, you know, case is enter. Like, yeah, this'll work. You could do this, but it's going to be harder to manage, because if you accidentally do capital E enter or enter space, right? Then they're not going to work properly, right? This is just a human readable way of doing simple comparisons, I guess, or maintaining a bunch of values instead of doing like, okay, case 0, and then saying, we'll leave a comment, this is enter, and so on. Essentially, I hope that makes sense the way I explained it. It's kind of a lot, but basically, if you're dealing with a lot of unique states for a player, right? Like, oh, they have a moving, a dive, a turning, swimming, whatever. Things like this, if you have a lot of different cases that you need to manage, use an enum for it, and then just go from there, right? Or, you know, like, if it's just like a either or, you don't necessarily need to, because then it'll just clog up your namespace a little bit, like this menu here. It would just clog this up with things that are similar. If you only have to deal with like 2 or 3 states, it's like, that's just a me thing though. Some people like to use enums for everything. Other people do not. It's just a very helpful way to represent text as numbers, or numbers as text, I guess is the proper way to say it, essentially. So, again, just to recap, this is basically just a list of numbers, and we can use that to make a human-readable way to stay efficient with our checks here for, like, different states, right? And you don't have to use it for states either. Like, if I go into the story function here as well, like, this is just, hey, where are we at in the story? A global variable story progression just gets set to part of this story sequence enum. So this is the same as 0. We're 0 story progression. We haven't done anything. But if we go down here, like, this might be 10, or down here, this could be something like 24 or something like that, right? Ideally, this is another case, like, your story progression should never move backwards, right? So if you knew exactly what you're doing, you could just shorthand it and just increment your story progression as you go through. Or, you know, you can always say, like, okay, well, if we get to this point, our story progression must never be below a certain thing. So if our story progression is below story sequence.world 1 complete, right? Say we're completing world 1, right? We go into the cutscene that completes world 1. If we haven't completed world 1, then we can say, hey, our story progression is now story sequence.world 1 complete. And now, like, you know, this will only happen if we haven't beat world 1, right? So if you somehow have beat world 1 and you come back into this cutscene, it's not going to retroactively make your story sequence go down, which is not ideal. You don't want that to happen because that could break things, right? Because this, at the end of the day, is just a way for you to easily represent numbers, right? It's very quick to say, hey, is, like, if 0 is equal to 1, or 1 is equal to 1, that's essentially what it boils down to, right? If our story progression is intro, and then we say, hey, are we in story progression intro, or story sequence intro? If we compare story progression with story sequence, this is what it would look like. Global.story prog is storysec.intro. These two statements are exactly the same. Exactly the same, right? And that's how enums work. It is just numbers at the end of the day. So, that was kind of a lot, but I love talking about programming stuff. I will like never pass up the opportunity to nerd out about code and stuff like that. So, good question. I hope that explained it in a digestible and simple way. I'm not the best at, like, doing tutorial related things, but, you know, I would hope that worked out for you. So that's basically, to my understanding, the best way I could put enums. Welcome in, Pyro Guy. How's it going? How's it going? Okay, so we could stop devsplaining. We don't need the devsplaining music anymore. We're going to go back into actually testing the game. Side tangent done on enums. We're gonna get our last test in here before we wrap up stream. So hopefully everything works through properly. Now that we've went through a big explanation of enums and how I don't know how to use them because I was setting them improperly in the story progression. So now what we're gonna do, we're just gonna start the game just like normal, fresh file, and just go through things. I need to actually show the game. I forgot I disabled that, so good thing I looked over and caught that. Hahaha. VM preview. Is that it? Nope, wrong one. This one. There we go. Okay. Let me get back in the game. Where's it at?
Oh, thanks again for sticking around to help tidy the place up. I really appreciate it. My old age gives me quite a bit of difficulty getting everything back in order nowadays.
It's no problem. If you ever need any help with anything, don't hesitate to ask. I'd be more than happy to lend a hand.
That's great to hear, Sonny. You'd better get going now. You've got a bit of distance to walk before you make it back home, don't you?
Yeah, I guess you're right. I'll get going then. See you around. Okay, bye. Slowly but surely. I kind of want to fix the pacing of that scene a little bit. I was trying to make it 1-to-1 with the original version of it, which I'm realizing I don't need to do, but you know. We're just gonna schmooze through here. You might notice the dudes just like creeping behind the wall there. Pay them no mind. Because they show up now. Must have been the wind. And that's where you'd be wrong. Must have been my imagination. And then we're freaked out, and we're going. And then the object appears. The mysterious object from the sky. What is this? Find out. Not next time, probably. Find out in a few streams from now what that is, I guess. Ugh. Are you well? You had quite the fall. Would you care to explain what happened? Well, I was walking home, as usual. Then there was this weird thing that tried to attack me. I started running away, then boom, something fell from the sky and knocked me off the cliff. Wait, who are you? What are you doing in a place like this anyways? Oh, my apologies. Please allow me to introduce myself. I am Yui, your guardian angel. We guardian angels are sent to tend to the living in very dire situations. That being said, it does not appear that you will be able to make it out of this cave on your own. I will lend you my aid. Once you are safe, I will depart from you. So, how exactly are we going to get out of here? Excellent question. You can make use of my angelic abilities. Move onwards, and we shall work together to traverse this cave system. All right. Perfect driving content. I mean, it might be. It might be. I do not recommend a Journoid stream behind the wheel. You know. Yui secretly trying to take his organs. No. She would never. She's a good soul. She's good. Trust. Despite the existence of an imp Yui character, she's good. All right. Moment of truth. This is where it will actually determine if I programmed things properly. And it should trigger a cutscene when we open this door. And it doesn't, because I don't know how to write freaking code! What are we doing? Okay, story progression 6. That's not what we want. Now I'm double checking this. I'm going in, I am double checking this. Where do we set this cutscene? My goat is washed? Yes. Hold on, I'm gonna adjust audio here. And we're going to go back to the stream playlist instead of the dev-splaining song. I want this one. Well, I have real life scenarios in the background. If you mean by the graphics, it was something I was trying out just to see how it looked, and I determined that I didn't like it. So it's gonna get axed. Except for the clouds. I do kind of like the clouds. The clouds look good, but not the trees. So, I need to see here. Meet Yui. What does this set our cutscene state to? Yui tutorial, right? Go up to the top. Story sequence, Yui tutorial. Captures a piece of code that sets it incorrectly via overriding the correct one. Probably. I know this needs to be here. And the only other place that it would get updated would be in here. So, and it's not this because that's when we beat chapter 1, beat chapter 2. Doesn't get updated here. This, I mean, it'll already be set here. Doesn't need to get set there anyways. Let's see. Check rooms. Lower left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope. Tutorial finished. We're here. I'm gonna look here. Let's just put the tutorial complete. We'll cover both cases there. Maybe, just maybe, what triggers that dialogue in the first place? I'm gonna search this. Where does this happen? Here. Aha! Okay, I'm seeing. So this gets triggered first. This doesn't need to be here anymore. That's fine. That explains it. All right. That fixes it. Because that's just old, I guess you could say, legacy code from Demo 4. Because before, in Demo 4, you'd have like a full cutscene room that you go to, and we don't need that anymore. So that doesn't happen there. It doesn't need to happen anymore. So we're gonna run it through one more time, but quickly. We're gonna run it through quickly. Your code is so neat and tidy. Mine's just a garbage dump. You haven't seen some of my code. Some of it's disgusting, and I only got here by writing disgusting code. All right. For context, I have released 4 demos prior to the one I'm working on currently. If you check the description, or for Twitch watchers, the little buttons below, if you check on there, there's actually a link to play the game if you so desire, with Demo 4 being the most recent version. You will quickly find that it does not look hardly anything like what this does. And that's because I have been, for the past almost 2 years, going through and really revisiting and reworking a bunch of things to make it look, feel, sound, and just be a lot better than it was before. But some of the code I used to have was abysmal. It was bad. All right. Horrifically unoptimized. It looked nasty, like in terms of like what I was doing, like a million if statements, some yandere dev type code. If you know, you know. If you don't know, be glad. But part of the rework things have been going through and optimizing code, making it easier for me to read and also easier for me to manage, and also just trying to make it more optimal in general, which means avoiding... Wait a second. Something ain't right. I just sussed it out. Hold on. Take me up here. My metronome isn't here. My story progression is 4. I'm going to check that real quick. What does that mean? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, this is correct. This is kind of where we should be. Story progression 4 is UE tutorial completed. That's correct. I'm glad that I added both cases when I... Were those moving while the game was paused? Okay. No, I'm just crazy. Good. They're not supposed to. But yeah, my code got to looking the way it does. If you think it looks good, that's great. I appreciate it. But it only got there by years of writing bad code. Which, you know, some bad code can just be the most optimal solution. I won't say that good code, like good looking code, is always the best way. Okay, so these guys, this cutscene triggers now. This is good. This is awesome. Which means that, provided that this triggers properly, let's see. Other than UE snapping into place, and that's just something I'll have to fix eventually. As long as this fight can be finished properly, then, what that means is... Oh, I just realized I didn't have it on game audio. Whoops. So that was a little bit louder than it needed to be. This means that stream for tomorrow we'll likely be working on the next 2 cutscenes in the chain, not change. Because I'm pretty sure the post-battle cutscene here should be relatively easy. Actually, you know, now that I'm thinking about it, it might actually be the post-battle cutscene and then migrating the rhythm game to the new system that's being used, that instead of it being pegged to like the exact step of the song, it is now tied to a millisecond value, which that ideally should make things a little bit more efficient and able to be managed better. At the very least, it does let me expose the rhythm game charts to the user. So if you wanted to mod the game and put in more difficult rhythm game charts, you essentially could. But now, with that being said, since this cutscene's repeating, all that I need to do is set that battle to update the story sequence when it's complete. And when that is done, we'll go into the next cutscene, and then we'll have some dialogue between the profane denomination and then Yui realizing, you know, that is that's scary. You know, I said I would depart from you after you got out of this cave, but you have like, now you've got these people that are summoning demons and you're at the top of their hit list. I'm gonna stay here to protect you. So that's essentially the structure of the story going forward from there on out. So that will be what we work on tomorrow. But I believe that is all the time that I have today for stream. So for everyone who came out to watch, thank you very much for doing so. I really appreciate it. I really hope you enjoyed. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe on YouTube or follow on Twitch, and be sure to check the description or the buttons below to maybe play Angels and Demons, follow me on other socials, or even, you know, join the Discord. If you join the Discord, you can get notified as soon as I go live, and also get pinged for teasers of the game that, you know, I might have worked on off stream, as well as just interacting with the community if that's something you'd be interested in. But not required, but appreciated. So with all that being said, thank you again for coming out to watch. I really appreciate it, and I really hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next one.